Everyone's got a story, but chapters can be rewritten. So this might be the first chapter, or it might be the last chapter. It doesn't mean it needs to be the defining moment.
In your experience, how pivotal is self-belief in shaping long-term success, not just in a career, but in life as a whole?
It's everything. Self-belief is critical in terms of the version that you wake up with every morning. It's kind of the person that you got to carry yourself forward with for that day, for that week, for that month, for that year. So self-belief in what you do in all aspects, whether it be personal or professional, is 100% critical.
Can you take me back to the moment you first had to back yourself, before there was any real evidence that you could do it? What made you choose belief over doubt in that moment?
Yeah, probably one of the first times that I really had to back myself was when we first started our first office at Parramatta. We bought that business during COVID. We were looking at the Ruby Princess from our apartment and made a big decision with no money to be able to go and back ourselves. So we really had no choice but to get through it and work hard. And that was probably the first test for us at a professional level to be able to see whether or not we could believe in what our vision was.
How do you build belief on the days when results, confidence, or motivation just aren't there?
I think the first thing is for me, it's understanding that this is temporary and it will pass. So it's just a thought, it's a feeling. Let it be felt, let it be thought, and then it will pass, and then you can move forward with your day with what your plans were. I think the doubt of self-belief it only occurs in a very limited time frame. And so the ability to be able to understand that it is temporary and that it will pass is probably what gives me the confidence to be able to move forward when things aren't going right.
What's the hardest challenge you've ever had to push through? And how did that experience reshape the belief of what you're capable of?
Man, the hardest challenge is probably losing my mum and dad. And being able to work out what I do, because they were kind of my guiding lights. So, when your GPS is off track, you normally go to the people that keep you on track. And so that's probably been the hardest time of my life. Professionally, you've got your ups, your downs, but the beauty about what we do in the industry that we do is that those moments pass quite quickly. And it's, looking back on all the good things that have happened that help you move forward. I just think my parents are, typical immigrant story. Dad was a cabbie, mum worked in a factory. So for me, the motivation was always very high to be able to go and maximise the opportunity of whatever I did. So that's probably the self-belief is that there is something better on the other side if you just put the work in.
Do you have a deeper purpose that drives you? And how does that shape the way you show up, train and perform every single day?
I'd have to say the deepest purpose that drives me is the opportunity at hand. If I look at, life in general, we've got opportunities. We've got these micro moments where you can change your life literally in 6 months or a year. And I believe that the opportunity is the greatest gift that we've got to be able to push forward and really focus on what we're capable of.
How do you lead others to believe in themselves, especially on the days that they're struggling to see it?
Yeah, shining the light on all the good things about them. Usually bringing to the surface the things that they might not be feeling or seeing that day and helping them work through that, and then being able to actually just demonstrate to them that they're more on track than off track. And I think a lot of people tend to put a lot of focus on the 10% that's off track as opposed to the 90 that's on track. I think the ability to be able to maturely understand what that thought is, what that feeling is, and work through it is critical. And I think in a performance game and industry like what we do, we deal with rejection on a day-to-day basis. So the negative thought or feeling should be felt, but learn from it and move on quite quickly.
Looking back on your journey, what role has belief played in getting you to where you are today? And what advice would you give to somebody who's still trying to build that belief in themselves?
Belief's been my entire life. So I've always had a coach, a mentor, a parent, a friend, someone that I've always looked up to, a colleague, business partners, whatever it might be. So it's the most important part of turning up every day with the right energy and the right state. The advice that I'd give to someone that's looking for that belief is look within first before you start looking outside or externally, and find someone that's going to coach and guide you and help you on your journey. Everyone's got a story, but chapters can be rewritten. So this might be the first chapter or it might be the last chapter. It doesn't mean it needs to be the defining moment. And I think the belief in yourself is your ability to be able to work through whatever challenges are put in front of you. And I think once you've been able to, surpass whatever might have been seen as a hindrance, you can see that there is an opportunity on the other end of it.